I've got the two fastest short electric skateboards made. They're both about 30 inches in length. They both do nearly 30 miles per hour. No joke, the Meepo Mini. First is the Bustin YoFace Hybrid. Over here is the Meepo Mini. According to the website, it maxes out at 29 miles per hour. Over here is the Bustin YoFace. It maxes out at 27 miles per hour according to the website. If you flip the boards over so the wheels have absolutely no resistance and max out the speedometers, they'll both exceed 30 miles an hour. This one does 31, this one does 33. However, when you add my 190 something pounds to the board, neither of them will get past about 25. I've tried it many times. 25 is where they max out if you're as big as me. But hey, you know, 25 on a short board that's about 30 inches in length is really, really fast. Now, there's a big difference when you're going that fast when you're on a Meepo versus the YoFace. And that has to do with wheelbase. I'm going to show you right about now. Look at the difference in wheelbase. Holy cow, the YoFace is way smaller. Shorter wheelbase. Now, why is that? They both have a kicktail, but only the YoFace has the front tail, whatever that thing's called, the nose. All right, so because the Meepo does not have a nose, only a tail, the front trucks are mounted right at the front edge. This gives you maximum stability. You get the widest wheelbase, which is both good and bad. It's great when you're flying at 25 miles an hour because it makes you more stable. However, the short wheelbase lets you pivot the board and make short skateboard maneuvers really, really fast that you can do as easily on the Meepo. Also, the Meepo weighs 17 pounds. The Bustin YoFace Hybrid is, I think, 15 pounds, 14 pounds, something like that. A little bit lighter, and that makes it a little easier to maneuver it. You can see the riding on the pavement. Those kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. All place, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. Work change your life, yeah, play it ain't coming to a side of the younger generation. Let's talk size difference. These are a little stupid tests because you can look this stuff up. But Meepo Mini weighs 16.5 pounds. Bustin YoFace Hybrid. Ooh, it's a soft spot in the grip tape. Bustin YoFace Hybrid weighs 14.5 pounds. It's 2 full pounds lighter. It's 14.6 pounds if I remember correctly. I did this measuring it myself. This is not based on the weight on the website, but I actually put these things on a scale and check because they don't always write the right amount. 16.5 pounds, 14.6, basically 2 pounds different when you're carrying it around. Obviously 2 pounds is nice, 2 pounds less. One win for the YoFace. Now, let's just measure the length of the decks. Tip to tail, 33 inches. It's a hair under. It's like 32 and 7/8. Basically 33 inches on the Bustin YoFace. And on the Meepo Mini, it's 30. It's not even, it's 29 and 7/8. So basically there's a 3-inch difference in length. However, the Meepo has only a tail. The Bustin has a nose and tail. So that 3 inches is basically the tip that you can't actually stand on, but it's good for doing tricks. If you're not going to do tricks, you kind of don't need it. You're never going to put weight up there because you'll do a nollie if you do. All right, now let's talk about the width, which in my opinion, deck width is the most important factor in deciding if a board is comfortable for you. 9 1/16, no, that's 1/8. 9 1/8, basically a 9-inch deck. At the widest point of the Bustin, which flares out a little bit right about here, it is exactly the same, 9 1/8. So both boards are 9.125, I think, mathematically. All right, basically just a hair over 9 inches wide. So they're the same. They're not going to feel any difference. However, the concave, if you look up there, I don't know if you could see that, the concave, I could stick my fingers under this. The concave on the YoFace is deep, and the concave on the Meepo is minimal. It's not zero, it's not flat. It definitely has a concave. I would call this medium or mellow, and this is deep. This is deep concave, for sure. I mean, these edges flare super up. I like deep concave, however, it is all personal opinion. Some people like completely flat boards. I like the deep concave because you can feel where your feet are without looking down, especially when they do the flared wheel arches like this one has, which is great to avoid wheel bite. Wheel bite. I'm a big dude. I get wheel bite all the time on every board I have, even with these like wheel wells here, you can see it's biting. It's not bad. The front ones are worse. All right, so wheel bite is, if that's something that affects you because you're heavy or very tall, either person gets wheel bite more frequently than small, short, light people, then these wheel arches are going to be a good thing. I don't think I've ever managed to get the YoFace wheels to bite. Definitely got the Meepo ones biting pretty, I don't know about pretty often, but enough that you could feel it. However, because the wheels are so big and they are flared arch, it's a little scalloped cut here, I've never got the Meepo to stop me. Like sometimes on a push board, the bite is so bad it throws you off the board. Never happened on this. However, you get the bite. You know, this one has no bite. Let's talk wheels. Bigger is always better when you have a short board moving at high speed. Okay, Meepo Mini 90mm wheels, Bustin YoFace 80mm. There's not really an honest difference when you ride. I can't even tell the difference, frankly. But in theory, you can absorb bumps better with the Meepo wheels than you can with the Bustin YoFace, but I honestly can't tell, so I'm gonna call that close enough to be the same. Whatever. Let's talk about remotes here. I see a problem. Which one is easier for aging eyes, man? Holy cow, the Meepo remote is the one in the blue silicone cover. That is a cover, it's black normally. The wood is the original Bustin remote. But the letters are friggin' tiny, and they look like they're dot matrix out of the 80s. Like, what kind of number digitized that? There's no smoothness to the edges. They're also microscopic. This one's nice and big. What they actually display is basically the exact same thing. There isn't a big difference, but the difference is the size and also brightness and clarity. The Meepo wins in all hands down. Now, at first glance, they look like they're similar, except this one, the Bustin one, you hold really stupid. You hold it like this. Well, notice my fingers cover the screen. You freaking can't read it unless you do a haka. A haka, whatever the thing is called, the Hawaiian thing. Why didn't they just put the screen right here? Right here. Simple. As opposed to Meepo, where I can't even reach the screen. My fingers don't wrap around far enough to cover the screen. Okay, that's just a better design. Plus, they're pointed in two completely different directions. This one is pointed away from you, so when you hold it like this, you see it. This one, you have to hold your hand like this. You have to cock your hand back just to read it in the correct direction. This remote is nowhere near as easy to read as the Meepo. The Bustin is harder to read than the Meepo. In terms of reliability, they both connect perfectly. Okay, there is zero transmission problems or anything like that, but just usability, this is just stupid. Why do you have my finger, you mean you hold it in such a way, your fingers cover. I don't even know if my finger's supposed to be here or here. It's not comfortable where they put the grooves. This is just straight up, it's basically an L shape. You just do this and it works. I mean, headache free. Why change what worked? This is a great remote. You know. All right, now it's time to have a little fun. Let me skate on both of them and you decide. In terms of features, the two boards are basically the same, with one feature exception that I'm aware of that the Meepo Mini has that the YoFace doesn't. See, I'm right now riding in reverse. Stop, push that 2 times, and now I'm going forward. There is no backup, there is no reverse on the Bustin YoFace. One of the selling points of the Bustin YoFace Hybrid is that when the battery dies, you can push it back. However, the Meepo does the same thing, and it feels when you ride it like it's got more smoother rolling resistance, meaning it doesn't drag as much. I'm going to let both of them go on this hill and let's see which one rolls farther. So in terms of rolling resistance, the Meepo Mini wins. All right, look at the bottom. Meepo Mini, Bustin YoFace. Meepo Mini has this great, bright readout of the percentage. How much you got left on your battery. And on top of this, look under here. That's a USB plug. Legit, you can recharge your phone from the battery inside the Meepo Mini. And it's also obviously got the charging port down here, which is to be expected. Power button is here, but you never actually use it because you push start the board. You just give it a push and it powers itself on, and it'll shut itself off if you disconnect, after you turn off your remote after a few minutes. So you never really use the power button. Same thing with the Bustin YoFace power button. You literally never use it. Same exact thing. You push it, and when you're done riding, you just shut your remote off, and the board will shut off after a few minutes on its own. There's also a charging port here. That's all there is. There is no readout. There is no USB plug. The USB plug honestly is gimmicky because I'd never really used that. There's a heck of a large portable USB pack if you were trying to, compare this to like a little portable USB pack to charge your phone. But the digital readout to see the percentage is way good, and you can't see numbers on either remote. Like, they just show you bars. So here you can see actually 98% charged. All right, I flipped the boards over, got the trucks lined up perfectly on this end, and even though the Bustin YoFace is a full 3 inches longer in deck size than the Meepo Mini, the wheel-to-wheel wheelbase on the Bustin is only 18 inches, while the Meepo Mini is 21.5 inches long. Literally, it's 3.5 inches longer wheelbase, but the deck is 3 inches shorter. At first glance, the two boards seem pretty much similar. However, when you ride them, they are pretty similar. There's a really big difference, however, in the brakes. I ride both of them on maximum speed, which is 4, and maximum brakes, which is 4. They both have the same settings, 4 speed settings, 4 braking settings. The only difference is when you hit the brakes on the Meepo Mini, it actually stops you. When you hit the brakes on the Bustin YoFace Hybrid, it just sort of waits, and a second and a half later will slow you down a little bit. Not to a full stop. It's bloody annoying, and it's practically dangerous if you rely on the brakes. The brakes on the Bustin YoFace Hybrid are absolute terrible. I mean, just straight up terrible. Check it out. I'm not even going to pick up a lot of speed because I'm focused on filming, so for safety, I can hit 25 on this right now. But let's hit, I don't know, we're doing like 6, 7 miles an hour, right? You can see it on the thing. 1, 2, 3 full brakes. It still hasn't stopped. That's 7. There it goes. It finally stopped. That's like a joke, man. Full brakes. There's a huge delay from the time I push the brakes till it does anything at all. All right, one more time. 7 miles an hour, 6 now. 1, 2, 3. It's still slow. It's still rolling. Stop. That's pathetic. Those brakes are absolutely terrible. Bustin YoFace brakes ruins the board. Literally, I'm on brake level 4. Now, you'd be able to see it on the screen if the screen wasn't so small. It's maximum braking. They don't get any stronger than this. It's kind of terrible. Now, for contrast, here's the Meepo Mini brake test. All right, I'm going to hit, I don't know. Let's go anyway. Let's go pick up some nice speed. All right, 7 miles an hour, brakes, 8. All right, that wasn't full brakes because I'm a little afraid of it to throw me off the board because the brakes are actually very good on this Meepo Mini. So we can do that test over again. Hit, I don't know, 8 miles an hour, full brakes. Whoa, that takes all my muscle to stay on the board. It's a lot of G-force. All right, one more time, just so you see I ain't messing around. Okay, the brakes are great on this Meepo. Check it out, 10 miles an hour, full brakes. Jeez. Ah! my calves are like bulging out trying to stay on the board. These things, the Meepo Mini brakes are really good. All right, so I just did a top speed run on both boards. Now, I didn't record it for my own safety, but the results are gonna be surprising, actually. Totally surprising to me, anyhow. Meepo Mini is supposed to make it up to 29 miles an hour, according to the website. The YoFace is supposed to make it up to 27. Neither of them did. But mind you, I weigh 194 pounds as of this morning, which is 88 kilograms, man. That's not a light passenger. However, the Meepo registered on the remote as doing 26 miles per hour and on the GPS in my phone as doing 26 miles per hour. However, I did trek it back and forth, and sometimes the Meepo thinks it's 0.9 miles per hour faster than my GPS. So it does really do 26, which is pretty close to the 29 top, with considering my body weight. But it does register a fraction less than 1 mile per hour over what it actually is moving at. The YoFace maxed out on its remote at 26, but my GPS consistently says the remote is reading 2 miles per hour too fast. So it maxed out at 24, according to my GPS. And no matter how fast I go, this is always reading 2 miles per hour faster than I'm really going. So YoFace maxes out at 24 with someone big like me on it, and Meepo Mini can make it up to 26. Now, it's not a big difference, and actually what was surprising was the shorter wheelbase of the YoFace. I expected it to be more twitchy at high speeds, like getting speed wobbles. It wasn't at all. It's actually totally stable. If anything, I think the YoFace was easier to ride at 24 than the Meepo is also at 24, like not even going to 26. The Meepo has more speed wobble than the YoFace, which is surprising because the YoFace has a shorter wheelbase, so the Meepo should be more stable. I don't think either of them are particularly stable. If you ever rode a longboard at those speeds, they're like 100 times more stable than both of these boards. But if you're good at riding a short skateboard, like regular pushboard, this is not a big deal at those speeds, but it does take working up to, and it's definitely not something I'm comfortable holding the camera at the same time as doing. Once you're exceeding about 22 or so, that's about my max to be comfortable filming. So anyway, totally surprising results. I did not expect the YoFace to report 2 miles per hour faster and then not even come close to its advertised speed. So all in all, they'll both get up to 3 miles an hour close to their advertised top speed. So whatever the top speed is, if you're big like me, expect a 3 mile per hour drop off, because they both did that. I'm guessing if you get a little skinny small person, they might actually hit the top speeds. I know when you just lift up the board like this so the wheels aren't on the ground and max out the remotes, they both will go over 30. So the question is, how much torque do they have to get you up there? I did this speed run on a 1/3 mile long stretch, which is about 550 meters long, and just a straight stretch, full throttle all the way, maximum performance, maximum speed on speed level 4 on both remotes, and a full battery on both remotes. So this is the most it's going to get with me on there. Maybe a light person could actually top it out. 3 miles per hour doesn't sound like a lot, but on these short boards, you feel it. Like literally, I don't need to look down to see my speed usually on these remotes, because you literally feel every mile per hour. I can usually guess within 1 to 2 miles per hour my speed without looking down, just because it feels that much more intense every mile per hour faster. The main reason to ever get this Bustin YoFace over to Meepo is the deck shape. Seriously, if you like concave skateboards, this deck is incredible. It is so good, the Bustin YoFace. It just cuddles and curdles and cattles your feet, whatever that word is, okay? Whereas the Meepo has very mild concave and is almost flat. However, it's not totally flat. It does have some concave, but the Bustin YoFace, that's the best part of riding that board, is how it holds your feet, and there's all these like arches and stuff, and it's really, really great under your feet. All right, in conclusion, my personal opinion is the Bustin YoFace Hybrid has the better deck. That's the only thing it's better at, though. That deck has got this incredible concave that hugs your feet when you ride, which is great for when you go to like skate parks and stuff. Other than that, the Meepo Mini is better in every single freaking way. Every way. It's the most fun toy I own, in fact. I love this Meepo Mini. I absolutely ride it all the time. There's a reason that the two boards don't have the same mileage. This thing's got about to hit 170. Probably by the end of this video, it'll hit 170 miles, and the other one has 16 miles. I don't like riding it because the brakes don't work. Okay, sometimes like a child gets in front of me while I'm riding in the park or something, or a car goes in front of me while I'm out in the street, and I can't stop. And you can't like use your feet to stop when you're doing 20 plus miles an hour. That works fine on a push board, but it doesn't work at these speeds. But this thing is fantastic. This Meepo Mini is by far the better board, at least in my opinion. God, somebody come out there and tell me why I'm wrong, because I can't figure out why anyone would buy the Bustin YoFace, which cost a lot more, over the Meepo Mini. Okay, it's just better in every way other than that deck. Now, what is the conclusion? I actually want to, whoa, I gave it a little too much throttle. I actually want to go out and get a Bustin YoFace push board, not the hybrid, the one that's non-powered, because I love the deck that much. Bustin products might be very good, but not their electric skateboard, man. Not the Mini E hybrid. That thing ain't good, not at all. But the push board from them, I'm probably going to end up with one. Maybe I'll trade in one of this YoFace hybrid and get like push board and keep a couple $100 in my pocket. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Either way, Meepo Mini, man, for the win! Meepo Mini, way cheaper. Bustin YoFace Hybrid, way more expensive. However, honestly, the riding experience is fairly similar between them, other than what I pointed out in this video. Alright, thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Yo, 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 yo.